Welcome back to the Fantasy Football Formula. This is our NFL draft betting episode. We're going to go through and give you our top 3 to 5 favorite bets each. If you like three, you like three. I personally have 5 that I really like. So we'll go ahead and get into it. The NFL draft, we were filming this on Monday. It is 3 days away. So getting hyped, and we'll get right into it here.
We cleaned up last year on this.
Yeah, we did. We did really well on the draft last year.
I feel like the books took note of the fantasy football formula. They've been letting out way less picks and way later on things opening up. They caught wind.
Yeah, it does seem like this year they're definitely realizing it's a very, very beatable market. And one, you're limited on the amount you can bet, and they're just certain lines they're just not posting, or they're constantly changing. So, once we share these, again, they can change by the time we post them. But when we're posting this is what the odds are as of now, as we're sharing it. So, who wants to start us off?
I've got one. It's kind of like choose your own adventure type pick here. So I really like the Eagles to draft Nolan Smith at 10. I think he's going to be not a total shock here, but I think they're going to be looking for a guy to replace Hargrave on the outside. And I think Nolan Smith's their guy because I think Jalen Carter is gone. I think Will Anderson's gone. I think Tyree Wilson's gone before they get to 10 here. So I think they're going to go Nolan Smith. So you could go, depending on how confident you are in that, on FanDuel right now, his over-under is at 11.5. The under is plus 106. For him to be a top 10 pick is plus 130 on DraftKings. And then if you're really sold on him going at the 10th pick, it's plus 500 on FanDuel and DraftKings right now.
Is that what you think you would do? Because you think
I would probably sprinkle the first two and the third one, 10th pick exactly, and then top 10 or under 11.5. I mean, they're all plus money. So,
I think a lot of, like, depending on where you think players land, I think a lot of value is like actually choosing a player to an exact team. You can get some pretty good odds on guys if you really are, confident on someone.
Yeah. So Nolan Smith is the third best odds to go to the Eagles at 10 behind Skoronski and Paris Johnson.
Okay.
And I think they go the other side of the ball there.
Do you have a pick in there where you could just say like the Eagles' first selection is like Nolan Smith, or can you just do the position?
You probably can do that on DraftKings.
Yeah,
DraftKings has the exact.
Yeah, they have. I think it's like.
So like if they trade it out, you're saying?
No,
because that's like my only hesitation with taking that bet is like the Eagles always move, even if it's like 2 spots.
Yeah.
You can bet on if you go to the AF, like you pick the division, and then you can pick like which position group they draft. So I believe it's plus 200 or less, maybe even odds on.
Yeah. All right, the position one, I see those. Yeah. I actually got a good deal on one when the day of the Jeff Okudah trade to Atlanta. Did, yeah. I beat Vegas out, and I got the Lions to get a cornerback first at plus 115. And I don't know where the line is now, but it moved to negative money. So feeling good about that one.
You got that like 5 minutes before they locked it too, like maybe even less.
I saw a tweet and just instantly went to the book.
But what do you have? What do you have that's available now?
Well, I think my favorite one is probably Jalen Carter under 6.5 for draft position at plus 165.
Whoa, where did you see? I see. Is it on DK at plus 165?
Yeah. I think for being the undisputed number 1 talent in this draft outside of maybe Bijan.
But Willie Anderson.
He's good, but I think Jalen Carter's has a little bit better grading. if it wasn't for like this offseason drama, I think he would be a unanimous, top 3 guy. So, if you could get him under 6, there's a couple teams in there that I think could sneak in and get him. Whether that be the Cardinals if they don't move back, or even if the Texans if there's a run on these edge guys on defense, I could see him coming off the board, easy top 5. So a lot of different scenarios. I feel like it covers a lot of different outcomes, and to
Yeah,
get that plus 165, that's probably my most confident bet.
I also do. Sorry, PB.
Oh, I was saying that's my favorite. That's not my
Yeah.
favorite, but that's one of my 5.
Yeah, that's a good one. I also like that too. I do like your cornerback bet for sure for Lions, but under 6.5 also
Covers you.
encompasses the Lions pick, who I think could, if they don't go corner, could go Carter if he's there.
Yeah, and the reason why the under 6.5 is like, because, yeah, it would be kind of surprising at this point if the Texans went him, but like the Texans could, the Cardinals could, the Colts aren't, and then at 5 you have the Seahawks, who I think could take him, and then the Lions. Like, I don't see him falling outside of one of those 4 teams between the Cardinals, Texans, Lions, and Seahawks. Like,
it also
I do not see him falling out of there. And the fact that you're getting plus 165, that is some fantastic value. Like, I think that's going to really shift by the time draft day comes.
I wouldn't be terribly shocked if a team traded up for him too. Like,
yeah, that too.
One of those.
The Eagles are a team that could definitely try to make a splash for him as well.
I think I liked it most because obviously the draft, like there's some sharp money out there, but like it's majority just a game of smoke and mirrors right now. Everyone's throwing rumors out, everyone's saying something different. So I actually think it's the one spot in the NFL season that Vegas doesn't have an advantage on you. Yeah. So I love hammering the draft. I'm excited, but
Corey?
Yeah, I have a couple here that I've been looking at. One revolves around one player here. Where is it? Oh, Alex?
He gone.
No, he's just.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Oh, he's eating. Oh, okay.
All good.
So I think I like under 4.5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. That's at plus 154. I think all this Hendon Hooker talk is absolute nonsense. Like, he is definitely not a first round pick. And I'm not sure why like anyone would the only place I could see him going would be like the last pick, and it's a team trading up from the second round to get to it, like with the Chiefs. If a team like say the
Vikings are the one team that if he gets past, I think you're gold.
Yeah,
or the one team that's like connected maybe to him, but I think I agree with you.
Yeah, so under 4.5 quarterbacks in the first round at plus 154 right now. I think that's a pretty solid bet to take.
Yeah, love that one.
I'm with you there for sure. That was one of mine as well.
Okay.
Sticking on the positions of that, I have the running back position under 1.5 running backs. I think Bijan's obviously a lock, but
whoa. We have some explaining to do here, Nick.
I don't really think Gibbs is going to sneak into the first round. There's a ton of
no. We're not talking about Gibbs.
Talking about Cabernet.
Charbonnet. Well,
Yeah, Nick, your mock draft, you have him going to the Saints in round 1. What's
you got to throw some wild cards out there, like just blind darts at a board.
I'm just saying that was literally your prediction, and now you're going. What does the money say? Of course, you don't support your own pick.
Yeah, well, that was just for fun expert analysis there, but
yeah, okay.
You got to throw in some long shots.
Also, the guy who called us out for you saying that Bill Belichick is a terrible coach.
He is.
He's
not terrible, but he's not a terrible coach, but he's kind of a fraud. Like,
you can say,
I think here's the thing, out of respected Bill Belichick a lot more if he would just put his pride aside and Mac Jones, because that's like it was supposed to be like his next golden child, even though Zappy was out playing him all year, and it's just like stick with the hot hand guy, but he's so stubborn He had to keep going with Mac Jones. It's like,
No, Zeppy sucked. But anyways, back to the
no, he
draft.
didn't.
Yeah,
He was
back
good.
to
He was
the
better
draft.
than Mac Jones.
You just had to point out that you don't believe your own take that you mentioned in the last episode. So under 1.5 running backs. What's the odds on that? That's got to be like negative
It's
something.
plus money. Let me see.
There's no way
It was
that's
plus 130
really.
For the
for under 1.5. Yeah, I just thought it was good value too.
Yeah, I mean that's good value if it's
Yeah.
actually plus 130. I thought it was like negative odds for sure.
I thought the same, and I saw it, and I was like, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, Gibbs is the only one that would go to like
He
maybe
could sneak
Eagles or
in,
maybe-
like, I don't know, but I think there's so many rumors of Derrick Henry and Dalvin Cook
Yeah.
and Austin Eckler potentially being traded. I think draft
that's
nights,
true.
if a great place to go and get one of those guys and trade down. So I kind of liked that perspective as well. Covers you with 3
Yeah.
of the most dominant running backs kind of up on the trade block. Draft nights, one of them might fall. So I think that could kick Gibbs out if the team was really interested in bolstering their running back position.
I like that one. So the next one I have is, and this might be my well, I mean they're all my favorite, but this might just be my favorite. It's Bijan under 12.5 draft position at minus 115. I mean you could bet plus 250 for the 8th pick. And the reason why I say the 8th is like I mean we already know like the top 7 teams, like up to the Raiders, they're not taking Bijan. Like that's, I mean, it would be very shocking if that happened.
It would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, it would be hilarious if any of those top 7 teams did. You could see a team trade up, but that's also hilarious that a team would trade up for a running back. But at 8 is where Bijan is connected to most. And if you like Falcons maybe are like trying to bait the Eagles to move up, because of the Falcons, I mean, it makes sense for them to trade back like it just at that position. So you could see like the Eagles trade into 8 and take Bijan, or the Falcons just take him at 8. And so you could do that plus 250, but I'm very confident he's going to be under 12.5. He's going to the Falcons, the Eagles, or I believe it's the Texans at 12. Or if the Titans trade Henry, the Titans could take him at 11. So I'm extremely confident. It's my favorite bet. Bijan under 12.5 on FanDuel minus 115.
Very nice. I'll jump in here next. These ones go hand in hand here. The Green Bay Packers to select a tight end at plus 300 with their first pick. I think they still go after a tight end here. They obviously just trade away Aaron Rodgers today. And that offense needs a facelift here. And I think with them going tight end at plus 300 is a good bet. And then if you want to pair that with, I think Michael Mayer, he's the odds on favor right now to be the first tight end taken off the board. But if you take him to the Green Bay Packers at plus 500, that's somewhere where you can get, so it's hand in hand. So it's weird with obviously, Mayer has to make it to the Packers, which I think he will with the talent that's involved around that's in front of him. Most teams have a pretty good understanding of what most teams are going to do in front. And that's going to be like, quarterbacks, bunch of defense players. And once you get in that middle round, it's like, okay, there's a lot of different ways you can go. And like I said, the Packers need, a facelift on that offense. So I like both of those plus 500 for Packers to take them. Or if you just want to be a little more, safe and take at plus 300 for Packers just to take a tight end.
So, yeah, what do you think is the tight end probably one's a little like, I don't know if there's enough value because like so many of these tight ends, people like it's most likely Kincaid or Mayer, but it's like, is it worth that plus 200 of juice when you can just get plus 300? No,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you have a strong
Just take
conviction,
it,
I
yeah.
mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, go with the plus 500. If Mayer's, again, he's a clear cut odds to go number one. I mean, for tight end, he's like minus 150 or 160 now. So
yeah, but I'm saying, is it worth it? Because like Kincaid is, I mean, minus 150 is pretty. I mean, it's a favorite, but it's not like a big favorite. Like
I think
Kincaid
those
could
two
easily
guys
get
are
one.
same tier. I mean, you're
So that's
talking
why it's
about
like I
tight
think
ends.
your bet's fine. It's just I think the plus 300's probably the safer.
Yeah, definitely safer. I mean, just throwing it out there.
Doing it
I
kind
think they're going.
of
I think they're gonna go offense for sure. That's like I'm very. I think they're going receiver. Yeah, tight end. I think they're going offense for sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
so my
I was
official
looking
bet will
back.
my official bet will be the plus 300
Okay.
There you
and
go.
sidebar at plus 500 just in case it hits.
I was looking back. The Packers' last 10 drafts in the first round, they've always taken defense.
Yep.
So my thought is like, all right, they've invested enough in it now that
Yeah.
they don't have Aaron Rodgers to fall back on. Like they got to go offense, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
just as like a big fuck you to Aaron Rodgers drafting a weapon, which
Yeah.
they didn't do it
Don't let
ever. I mean, they
I
don't
hit.
let the
I
boys
I, I
run
could
the
see
way
that
around,
too,
but
just as like a. I mean, obviously they're not drafting just out, but like they could definitely just get a good offensive piece.
it might be what tips them over the edge. If they're like, oh, we really like this defensive guy, we really like
Exactly.
this receiver or tight end, like,
Let's go offense. They need something for Jordan Love.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or are they going to like take a hard look in the mirror and realize like we just lost our superstar quarterback because we didn't give him any weapons? You know?
Nick, did you take up miming? Or what's
What?
ventriloquist? We talk with their
ventriloquist.
that's
Yeah,
that's what,
you're just frozen there with your.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you're moving now.
You
were
can
just
hear
a
me?
little-
You're in like 180p though.
Yeah.
It's coming in better. All right. Are we on our third? We're on our start of our third pick now.
Yeah, third.
Alex.
Okay, for my third pick, I'm going to go with total defensive backs taken in the first round under 5.5. It is plus 150 on DraftKings right now. I think it's I actually think the line at FanDuel is under 4.5 for this. So here's how I see it going. I see Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., Deontay Banks, and Brian Branch. And I think Deontay Banks is even somewhat of a stretch to go in the first. So that's 5 right there. I don't see another name jumping out at me that might sneak in and get this to the over.
What can you name the 5 again?
Witherspoon, Gonzalez, Joey Porter Jr., Deontay Banks, Brian Branch.
Manuel Forbes.
Okay, so you can interchange Emmanuel Forbes and Deontay Banks. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
both of them are going in the first round. So I'll take the under 5.5 on DraftKings. I do think it's under 4.5 at FanDuel, which also makes me like it a little bit more as well. Get a little arbitrage there.
Yes.
Okay.
Nick?
If it's a 4.5 on FanDuel.
All right. This one's going to be kind of a wild card, but I always like to play a few flyers. It's going to be the first wide receiver taken at plus 750 to be Jordan Addison. Corey, you're going to like this one. So, doing some research, he had 51 catches over 20 yards last year. And the number one thing you look for talent-wise in a slot receiver is yards after catch. So he's got that metric kind of locked up for this receiving core. And he also has the versatility over JSN to play on the outside, whereas JSN, kind of an exclusively slot guy. So if there's a team that is looking for more of a true number one, kind of like a multi-purpose player, could play inside and out, I think he could be the number one, and at plus 750, worth a little sprinkle in my book.
I mean, I like it. I would say you need to get past the first 15 picks for JSN and for that to come kind of fruition, because the teams at the back end who need wide receiver help, start lining up there. Even the Vikings would be a good spot, but man, that's a tough one. Jumping over, Quentin Johnson, and
I mean,
JSN.
Quentin Johnson's odds, if you want first, is like over 10 to 1 to be the first. That would go that route if I was picking a long shot receiver because
I
Well,
don't
he's
think
like
people like his route tree.
Quentin
yeah,
Johnson.
Yeah, it's just not as developed as some of these other
He's the
guys.
prototypical like X receiver.
Yeah.
From an athletic standpoint, he's got a
Yeah.
lot to learn though.
Well, yeah, but like if you're just going off of like a guy with a crazy
Sure.
upside, it's
Yeah, if you're looking at, build and combine results, sure. Totally with you there. But
but this
Play
one
football still.
kind of based off. I got a couple. Man, I have so many that I want to throw in, but like kind of teams drafting. But I'm gonna take these off the board and go with something a little bit better. I like for my next one, I'll take off the Mayor one again, but Mayor, I'm just gonna throw this out there. Mayor, under 21 and a half for his draft spot is at plus 164. And I like I'm not gonna take it as one of my picks, but I do like it. So again, if you like Mayor to one of those in the late teens, I think that's a good spot for him. But my next pick is pretty much kind of going not off what Nick said here. No, it is. I'm going over 3.5 receivers at minus 106 in the first round. I think that's pretty a pretty good lock. I'm not gonna say lock, but a pretty good shot
like
to
that.
happen. I think there's, you got JSN, Johnson, Addison, and Zay Flowers. I think Zay's the wild card one at the end, but I think when these teams like Kansas City, I could see them taking him. I could see another, Baltimore. There's another one that could be taking him. So
Bills.
Bills over 3.5 at 106. I like that a lot.
All right.
I'm riding with you there, Corey.
My next one is Christian Gonzalez over 8.5 draft position plus 100 on DraftKings. So, as we've discussed, I think like Jalen Carter goes to the Lions, and that's a big part. I think like an edge or defensive lineman goes to the Lions, and that's a big part of this because then it's the Raiders, and the Raiders love Witherspoon. And so if Witherspoon is there, which I think he will be, they're going to go Witherspoon, and then that's it. Like I don't think the Christian Gonzalez has not met with one single team in the top 10. And I know, guys visiting teams isn't everything, but like last year, 9 out of the 10 top 10 picks visited with the team that drafted them. Like I'd say if you're in the top 10, usually you want to have like teams visit with the guys before they draft them. And Gonzalez, not a single team wanted to visit with him. So I think he's going to come out of the top, 10, but he's at 8.5. You get even money on that. So I love Gonzalez over 8.5.
Yeah, it's not the only indication of a team drafting you, but it definitely, like we were talking about with Jalen Carter, his agent saying that he's not meeting with anyone outside the top 10. It's like,
yeah,
it's not, it doesn't make it set in stone, but it definitely, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep. So, I mean, it says something like, so yeah, Gonzalez over 8.5. Who's up next? Are we on our fourth, or does Nick, do you still have your third? Did you already share your third?
I shared mine with the Jordan Addison pick.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I've thrown 4 out already just because I had the Okuda trade one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Alex?
Yeah. So this is my last one because I'm riding with Corey on the total quarterbacks taken under 4.5. That was one of mine as well. So rounding it out here, I've got Zay Flowers over 22.5. Not great odds, minus 170. Not terrible, but I do think if he goes in the first round, it's to the Bills or the Chiefs. I don't think the Ravens are going to take a chance on him. They're at like 19, right? That would be the one team that might throw that off. I think that they would go Quentin Johnson over Zay Flowers. But I could see him going to the Bills or Chiefs, both of which are above 22.5 here. So not, we've been throwing out a lot of plus money bets here. Not on that front, but I do like it.
Okay. Corey?
So this is 4.
Yeah, your fourth.
So 4, I think this one is a pretty solid one as well. JSN, first receiver taken off the board. Mayer, first tight end taken off the board. Witherspoon, first cornerback taken off the board. That's plus 180 on DraftKings, or sorry, on FanDuel. Again, all those players are odds-on favorite to be the first taken in their position group. So if you get, I mean, obviously you can't really parlay anything. So for them to do it for you at plus 180, I think again is good value. The one that scares me, again, is probably Mayer, just because tight ends are always wild cards. But I have a strong conviction that Mayer is the best tight end in this draft class. So with him going class, so with him being the first one right there, I like at plus 180.
All right.
Like
My fourth one is I just have some conviction with these corners, I guess, because my next one's Joey Porter over 19.5 draft position. It's plus 100 on FanDuel. I think he's the biggest faller at the cornerback position in this draft. I think Deonte Banks is for sure going ahead of him, and I think Emmanuel Forbes could actually go ahead of him as well. The NFL, like a lot of mock drafters have had Joey Porter going higher, but from everything that I'm seeing from these NFL insider reports and teams just are a bit lower on Porter than the public believes. So I don't know if it's just has to do with I mean, I don't know. Nick, you talked about Porter. Like what do you think could be the reason why
I think obviously
he's like very specific type of corner? Is that
yeah,
I think that's why.
He had the best man-to-man grade in this class. So I think teams that are really interested in that style of defense probably find him to be one of the better prospects. And I think he's been kind of like Christian Gonzalez too. Like he's been in the conversation as like a potential number 1 pick, whereas Deonte Banks, well, okay, more than Deonte Banks or Emmanuel Forbes, certainly.
Well, Witherspoon, I'm very confident to be the number 1 guy, but
yeah. I'm just saying, like first round
but
talents, like through the playing season. You didn't really hear a ton of like Deonte Banks was good.
It's because of his
Emmanuel Forbes, you definitely never heard about, but you heard about Joey Porter. So I don't know. Sometimes just kind of the big name there. I think with good grading at the
and I think that's part of the reason why the public is higher on Porter, and I think NFL teams just Banks and Forbes had great combines, and they've been flying up draft boards. So I like Porter over 19.5. I think he goes in the later part of the first round.
I think your biggest if you get past the Steelers at 17, I think you're golden there. Obviously, it's just 2 more picks, but I think that's the one team inside of the top 19 that could go for him. Just feels like that's the way that Pittsburgh builds. Like his dad played at the organization. They could use some help at corner as well. So I think they're the biggest obstacle.
Hometown guy.
Yeah. Yeah. So Penn State. So if you get past them, I think you're golden. That would be the one team I would keep an eye on with that bet.
Yeah.
So on to our last pick.
I guess I'll jump in here. My last pick it's a lower wager for me, just a single unit, and it's more of an insurance policy for a few reasons. Money always makes you feel better, but if this guy goes to the Colts, I know my friend Corey here is going to be upset, so maybe I'll send him a pizza that night to try and help his sorrows. And I don't want to hear PB talking about how it was such a lock because he's such a good prospect. But I'm going to take the under for Anthony Richardson here at plus 265 or 255, under 4.5 AR-15. if there is a run on QBs, I think he's got to be top 3. So, I mean, the Stroud stuff has really swayed me into this one. Just him falling off everyone's radar suddenly, which is kind of weird, but could be the game of smoke and mirrors. So we'll see. I also placed an AR-15 number 1 pick taken very long ago, but I'm not
Yeah,
talking about that one.
Can you cash that out?
I wish I
don't
could.
think you should at this point. Just let it ride. Maybe the Panthers shock you. Corey?
All right. So my last one is a combo pick with the two teams who have two of the teams who have 2 first-round picks. I'm looking at the Lions right now. So they have the 6th and 18th overall pick. Now, this bet gets voided if they trade out of one of those positions. So that makes me think, hey, swing for the fences for, a higher end odds here instead of taking something that's a little bit lower. I mean, there's probably about 22 different selections you can place here. So I picked a couple. I'm going to just run through them really quickly and then I'll pick one at the end. But one that kind of popped out to me was Tyree Wilson. If they go edge with the 6th pick, and then they take a tight end with the 18th pick, which would be Dalton Kincaid, since Mayer would already be off the board, that would be plus 10,000. With the way Tyree Wilson is rising up the board, obviously with the news of them trading out or trading, and looking to get replace and get a corner, I think I'm going to switch it up. And I like Devin Witherspoon, the 6th pick, and Dalton Kincaid with the 18th pick at plus 2,000.
Who's the 18th pick?
Kincaid.
No, who's the 18th team?
Lions.
The Lions. It's
Oh,
their
Lions.
Lions first 2 picks.
That's actually not because edge and then tight end, which they need. That's not bad at all.
Well, yeah. So that's for Tyree Wilson at plus 10,000. But the Witherspoon with the Dalton Kincaid at plus 2,000 is a juicy one. The other tight end position would be, if Jalen Carter somehow slipped, you get Jalen Carter with 6, and then Michael Mayer at 18. That's plus 6,000. There is a really lot of good combinations.
Wait, that I'm trying to think. That might be the one. It's plus 6,000.
Yeah, Jalen Carter at 6 and Michael Mayer at 18 is plus 6,000.
I think you would. What you should do with that, because I think the Lions are getting Tyree Wilson or Jalen Carter, is you do both, you just do both of the parlays. The one with Tyree Wilson and the one tight end, and then the one with Carter and the tight end, and then you cover both.
I know, but the thing that scares, obviously they need a corner, and
I think they're going. I think Carter, Wilson, and Will Anderson are too good of prospects, and
if they do get an edge, then they're not going tight end. They still need to go get one of the top corners.
Yeah,
then they could go. Then they might go, like Deontay Banks or something like that. But these tight ends they need a replacement for Hawkinson.
Yeah. So, but right now I am gonna go for my 5th pick. I'm gonna go Witherspoon with Kincaid at plus 2,000.
Okay.
No love for Hawkinson.
He's not there.
Yeah.
He's at the Vikings.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Did they get anyone to fill in Jamal Williams' role? Did they get another running back this offseason?
It's Craig Reynolds. They could go running back.
David Montgomery.
Oh,
that's right. All right.
I was gonna say maybe what's that Bijan juice at 6?
There's no way. That'd be
That's not even up there.
That's how bad. That's how much it's not happening.
They have one with him at 18. It's Christian Gonzalez and Bijan at 18. That's plus 2,500.
Well, my last
Bijan's not going at 18.
Yeah. My last pick is Giants to take a wide receiver at plus 200. I have no clue how they don't take a receiver with their first pick. They have who's their number 1 receiver?
Giants?
Yeah.
I don't know. Richie James left.
Yeah, Richie James left.
Might be Kenny Galladay and Darius Slayton.
There is
Kenny Galladay's gone.
Yeah, there's no chance the Giants do not draft a receiver here. Whether it's Johnson, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, they're taking a receiver with their first pick. They need to have a receiver for Daniel Jones. I don't know who they're going to be throwing the ball to. It's not even they have Waller, right?
They got Darren Waller.
Yeah, so that's their number one target right now. And, he's not just going to get 20 targets a game. They got to get a receiver here to pair with Waller, and I'm very confident that they take a receiver with their first pick.
That's plus 200.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yep. But there's other ones I like, but obviously, those are our top 5. Maybe we'll share our, favorites, and then maybe we'll just start sharing some fun parlays to our stories on Instagram. Just for shits and gigs.
Also, if you're doing this, place these tomorrow. Don't wait because once Thursday hits, a lot of information is going to start leaking out of who's taking who, especially within the top 5, top 10. We'll have a pretty good understanding of who's going to be going. So a lot of these are going to lose value very quickly.
Yeah, they'll start to juice everything down too, just on everything. No matter what the pick is, it'll get juiced down. But that's it. That's gonna wrap up. The next after the draft, we'll kind of do a recap and then go into start talking about 2023 fantasy football. We got Best Ball Mania on Underdog, comes out right after the draft ends. The second the draft ends, they launch the tournament. The prize is last year it was $2 million to first, $1 million to the regular season winner. Massive there, and I can only imagine it's gonna be bigger this year. So plenty of best ball talk and drafts there, and
I think I've already ripped 10 best ball super flex drafts.
Yeah, they're so fun. Drafting's the funnest part of fantasy football.
Yeah.
So that'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully we win some money during the draft, and we will see you next time.
Good luck, everyone.